Hey, Tuesday night, I'm out for my last check of the cows before I go to bed. It's light out. It is really light out. And it's not just from those lights. Usually I turn my flashlight on when I walk out of the trailer and walk to come through the barn. I never turn it on. I still haven't turned it on. Don't need to. Especially over here, but you know, this is cheating. And yeah, give them oat bales today. So obviously the end when they blasted a bunch, they'll do that, especially calving season. They want to kick some out. Oh yeah, and by the way, that's the second pallet of those last tubs we got. And there's actually, between the 4 that were in there might be a quarter of a tub left. We're going to put in for the 2-year-olds. It was just pieces and chunks that they'd kicked out. I don't think that ain't a new baby. It's mama right there, so. And my phone's about to die, so I'm going to let you go unless I see something in the other barn. Well, not too much of a sunrise yet. And it's backwards again. It's actually showing up nicer on the camera than in person. That red in the middle of the screen, that's not there when I look at it. Yeah, a few hours since the first part of this. No new babies yet that I found. All but one cow was out in the feed barn this morning, and half the calves were out there with them, and I didn't see any without tags on them. So, if you look at the middle of the screen, that nice shiny spot, yeah, our snow pile's considerably smaller. It didn't shrink much overnight, though. It's 32 degrees. Yeah, we were up 50 or so yesterday, and the sun was shining good, so make short work of that pile. I should have me a little bit of clean gravel here pretty soon to touch up a few spots in the driveway. Yeah, that's about the only one with much gravel. Mom had complained, spin you around, up there by Dad's old pickup and those creek feeders. She was complaining about all the gravel I scooped. Yeah, there's about a 5-gallon bucket's worth that came out of the pile of snow there. And that was from there up to the top of the driveway mostly. Plus down here by the shop some. But all the dead crap out there is a little frosty this morning. And actually, if you can see it past the barn lights or not, yeah, you can. The hayfield out there, it's all frosty. Wish they'd make up their mind. Let's do 50, 55 degrees during the day and drop down cold enough at night. I got to make sure that some of the more important water's turned off, just in case. So a little changing around yesterday. This pen is empty. All the 2-year-olds are over there. Those who have calved and those who haven't. Sure saves on dragging bales over here to feed. They got their own bale out there. And the other end of the barn, I don't remember what I showed last night. That was yesterday, right? It's like a lifetime ago. Cleaned this upper part. So that's nice and dry this morning. I don't got to worry about falling on my butt. Worst thing is when something's in there and you can't get out of the manure to walk over to climb up and feed. Maternity pen down here is empty. Last thing I heard, the big plan is Friday, Saturday, something like that. The kids plan on getting the whole barn bedded. And okay, I was thinking somebody forgot to turn a faucet off. This trough down here, the float doesn't seal completely. If there's at least 2 animals in here, we can leave the valve cracked to it, and they'll keep up with it. It won't get too full. And I don't know how much is a little drip out the top and how much is the float itself isn't sealing. But anyway, I'm gonna get to feeding. I've made my rounds, I've gone to the shop, turned the heat up, looked at a few things, and kind of like, where do I start? I'm hopefully gonna make it to town and see Tom this morning. I gotta take Becky in. Her car goes in to get worked on again. They put a new torque converter in it. Dogs think there's rodents over there. They put a new torque converter in it here a while ago because it was having issues. And she loved it when she first got it. It's been to Montana and back a couple of times. And been all over here. Down to the coast, I don't know how many times. But it started having some issues. And it's like, it's like clutches are slipping. Well, no, apparently the torque converter. And the new torque converter, which honestly it can't have 1,000 miles on it, it's doing it. So it's going to go in and they're going to check and make sure what it is. And if it is a torque converter, the shop she's taking it to is going to go after the outfit they got the torque converter from and said, hey, you need to pay up. Give us a new one and pay our labor. Okay, those of you that remember that one right there, that's Grumpy. That would be M&M's orphan from last year. As M&M ended up walking the stairway to heaven. A little help with that. But, and yeah, you've seen 232 before. That steer that just turned his head right. Oh, now he's going to look. Until this heifer blocks him. 132. Huh. Anyway, that steer back there, little goggle-eyed bugger. He's kind of an owly little twerp. But when I feed, he stands there looking up at me like, where's mine? 617D. You have a little brother this year. She's going to hide behind the gate. Who else do we have? I'll get all screwed up when these girls get their new tags here in another probably month or so. Won't I? Yes, I will. Yeah, because I won't know who you are then. I'll probably know who you are. Because you look just like your mama. Yes. But a bunch of these, I'm not going to have a clue. Probably know who Grumpy is because she'll have a yellow tag. All right, that's enough, isn't it? Got almost 7 minutes of this. That doesn't leave me much room left on my phone to get you any road trip today, which may or may not happen. I don't know. But like I said, I got to get my butt in gear, especially if we're going to take her car to town this morning. Because I got to get a few things done, like feeding and a couple other things before we can go. But a road trip, wonderful trip to town. It actually doesn't look as foggy on the camera as it really is. But hey, you know, just more fun. It's all ice and fog. A little body work. That's below the shield right there. Shield stops just below that hole. Bent that around, gives room for the lines to come around to the outside, to the backside. Because I still got to keep them out of the way of the air filter so I can get in and out. And as long as they're behind right there, it should make it. Should clear back a couple inches. And I did a little searching. I was thinking of a different style clip, but this will work. That's the roller I broke, but it can't fall out of there now. That's an E-clip I put in. I think that plastic piece, I think, is supposed to probably be all the way across and clip it in, but I found a few. I did actually squeeze them together just a touch, but they were staying on before that, but that'll keep it from falling out. Can't fall out. Let's take the clip off. So, and I was going to get that thing up there today, but yeah, Ron just stopped by for a couple minutes to drop something off for number one, and number one had to leave early. Her fiance Maury's got they got 2 trucks running up in the gorge on a slide up there, and they got to run up there and work on one of them tonight. Fuel issues, plus she's supposed to take the one door apart. Something wrong with the window regulator, and yeah, it's kind of nice to have a window able to go up and down when you need it to. And it's on a 92. It's a 92 Western Star. Well, guess what? They don't make any parts for those anymore. At least they're not available through Western Star. So they were going to see what they could find there, and hopefully she got the right parts that she found used online. And hey, the vibration, if you heard it in my phone, she was just texting me. She picked up starting fluid that, of course, Napa had 2 cans. We don't buy it by the can, we buy it by the case. I don't want to buy it 2-3 times a month when we need it. Got a couple of things that live on that crap. But anyway, and she tried cleaning those hoses up some more. There's the mess she made. Some of them aren't too bad, but some of it's still got a lot of green and a lot of junk on it. The rubber's in good shape, so I'm not worried about it. And this one already happened to have a set to that curve, so I figure that can be the one that stays tucked up tight underneath here. And it'll go right down there. And the other one, it only goes to right there, so it doesn't have to have a hard curve in it anyway. That's what I'm doing. Dinked with the door. Got the bottom rollers mounted back on the cab over there. I got to get the door up there before I adjust that, but I just don't think I want to try to put that door up all by myself. I mean, it's not that it's that heavy, but it's kind of awkward, and I got to get the other rollers are still up in the track frame up there. You can't get them out without pulling the track frame down. So do that when I got some help and go from there. Oh, and Tom had a piece of, that's like Schedule 40 pipe, stainless. I just turned enough down there that it left a little bit of a burr on the end and left the center alone. So that's how much I did. They're on there more than far enough. And that's going to be behind the cover up there, so that'll be protected. I did notice I got to do a little something else here. A little cancer there. I did fill that from the inside, I think. Or it's double walled. I think it's actually double walled, and that's probably part of the reason. Yeah, it is. You got 2 pieces here. This one and the other one goes around the corner too. They do that stuff just so it can cancer out like that. I don't know. Too many engineers figure that kind of stuff up. And when I was gone this morning, she cleaned this up. I don't know how much we're going to use, if any of it, but at least it's cleaned up so we can see what we got. And anybody that was wondering, yeah, looks like it says 7360. 7363 is like what the hour meter says on her. So that must be about what's on that old cotton picker. No idea what's really on the engine, but man, that engine run good when we got it, so it still should. And hey, that's a long enough video, so I'm going to let you go. Thanks for watching.